approaching the second half of the season. There's been ups, there's been downs, and it's getting even more exciting. Welcome to the NPL Live Show. I'm pleased to have with me here tonight from the Sutherland Sharks, goalkeeper Nathan Denham and striker Jeremy Cox. Hey guys, how you going?
Going well, thanks.
Good, thanks for coming in tonight.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
You've travelled far? Bit of a distance?
Crossed the bridge.
So look, let's start with your game against Sydney Olympic on the weekend. A 3-1 loss with a solid first half. What do you think let you down in the end?
Well, I don't know. It was first half was good. When 1-0 up and things were positive, and it was just really 10 minutes of madness in the end that cost us.
What was the madness?
Well, we just copped a silly penalty, and then we never really recovered. We should have been able to say next 10 minutes, let's hold tight, let's not concede again. But we just copped one, and we've kind of spoken about it as well. Our heads went down a little bit, and then they just got two quick ones, and game was over essentially.
It was done.
And no coming back from that.
So how are the team feeling? What's the atmosphere like at the moment?
Yeah, the atmosphere is pretty good actually.
Good.
Even though we lost, and we've got a new coach that's come on board, and the atmosphere is really good within the team. Great bunch of lads. Everyone's just happy to be there. Everyone's happy to keep rocking up, and we just love it.
And giving your best.
Yeah, and we have a good time. So.
Great.
Yeah.
And you have both youth and experienced players in the team. Does that provide a positive mix to end the season on a high?
Yeah, I think so. I love the youth players. I love the young ones coming through. They're so hungry. They're so determined. They really want to stamp their authority on their position and this league as well. And then you've got the experienced guys, the older heads that sort of keep that together and help the young ones through. I love the mix. It's good.
What about you? What's your perspective?
It's good as a young player getting advice from the older boys and stuff like that. But we do have a lot of young players, so the banter is good. It is a fun place to be. The vibe is still good, even though we have lost a few games. But with a few older heads, it does help as a young player to
and even from your
improve.
own experience.
To improve. Yeah.
Good one. Good, because the Sutherland Shire is renowned as a great catchment area for promising young footballers. How is that process coming along in your senior squad this season?
Yeah, well, we're lucky. So we've had guys come right through the youth system. We've got two in our first grade team right now. One of them's Jeremy.
Right.
And young Patrick O'Shea as well. They've come through as juniors through the club, in the 18s and the 20s, and now into first grade. So young Jeremy's a product of that system.
Yeah, well, it's just such a good place to be. I don't know why anyone would leave. It's you've got all the facilities. The setup is so good. The people are great. And
sounds like you've got a great culture as well.
Yeah, it is.
Quite camaraderie.
Yeah,
good one.
Yeah.
Good one. And on Grantley, you mentioned Grantley. He's about 2 weeks in as coach. So what's that been like? How's the transition?
Yeah, it's been a slight adjustment obviously when a new coach comes in. But he's come in and it's added real freshness to what we're doing down there. We're just excited now to put the past behind us, just go out and win some football matches. So yeah, we're excited about that.
How about you? How are you finding it, Jeremy?
Yeah, as Nate said, it's great to have a fresh start kind of thing. He's brought in his own little spin on things, little changes, which is really good. Training's been really intense. I think a big part of it has been fun. We've been enjoying going to training, which is great. I'm really happy with Grant, and hopefully get a few more wins under him in the second half of the season.
And end on a high, hopefully, huh?
Yeah.
What's the talk at the club coming into the business end of the season?
Yeah, I think
where's the focus?
Within our team, obviously the focus staying up.
Yeah.
First and foremost, staying
Basically.
up. We were in a very similar situation last year, about the same time, and we were able to pull ourselves together, and actually I think we were about 6 in a row without losing, and pulled ourselves out of the deep water and actually had a challenge for finals. So 33 points up for grabs from now. I don't see any reason that we can't do the same.
Oh, what do you reckon, Jeremy? How about you?
Yeah, well, we got really tough games. The next 4 games, we were talking about it before with Nate. Next 4 games are against 4 really top teams, but they're the games that sometimes easier to get up for, easier to be motivated for. So I don't see any reason why we can't get points in those sort of games.
Why are they easier?
Well,
why are they easier? I mean, not easy in terms of easy to get up for. Why in comparison to?
You're kind of not expected to win, so you want to prove people wrong. The famous Aussie underdog tag that you don't want to roll over and get smashed, so to speak. You want to prove people that we are good enough to be in this league, and we want to get points to stay up as quickly as possible and then finish comfortable mid-table, really.
Good one. Good one. And Heritage Round is coming up this weekend. Now, although you're playing away, and I suppose, Nathan, this is probably more to your point in terms of being with the club, but again, any thoughts that you may have, Jeremy, tell us about a past Heritage Round that you've been a part of.
Yeah, I actually had a little look at last year's Heritage Round today. It was against Manly again, obviously, and we lost at home. They did us 3-1. So going into this week, we want to sort of avenge that. Go up there and win. It's the classic battle of the beaches. That whole heritage thing. I guess the north and the south beaches, if you want to put it that way. So but there's so much history, in this league, and it's just really good to be part of it.
Good one.
Heritage
It is.
Round.
It means a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And on that, what does the Heritage Round mean to you personally?
Well, as a young kid, growing up in Sutherland, and I used to love watching all the games in the glory days for the Sharks. Yeah. We go in the club room, you look around, all the old photos and the old pictures. It's so cool to look at around, and it is a great initiative. All the history in the league and all the clubs that have been here from the start. So it is a great initiative.
What about you, Nathan? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, the same. Jeremy's got it. We go into the club room after every match, and it's sort of our place to hang out, and you see all the old pictures, and the club's been around since I think 1930. So there's a lot of history there.
Lots.
And to pull on the jersey and represent that history, it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's a privilege, huh?
Yeah, it's a privilege.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good one. So we'll take a quick little break and take a look at Goal of the Week, and then we'll chat some more. Let's take a look at Goal of the Week for round 11.
Still be a way to goal here at Lambert Park. That one's over hit. Sydney FC trying to get it clear. Oh, here's Antelmi! We have a goal now, and it's something special. Audacious from Patrick Antelmi, and he's made something out of nothing. And as we look at the replay, Sydney FC were battling to get it clear. There wasn't much in the middle, and Antelmi, well, you want to say there's a bit of luck involved, but I think he knew exactly what he was doing. And the Wolves lead by a goal to nil.
Congratulations, Patrick Antelmi from the Wollongong Wolves on that strike. What do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, very difficult angle. Not quite sure how he managed to get it in, but he's done really well.
What about you as striker, Jeremy? What do you think?
It was a good little piece of improvisation that was pretty impressive.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Oh. So Nathan, this is your 9th year into the with the Sutherland Sharks, along with some prized silverware such as the Waratah Cup and Premiership victory. Tell us about your experience.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful experience. I mean, I think Jeremy said it before, it's such a wonderful club with great facilities and great staff, great people. I remember the first moment I walked in for training, my first season, I just knew that was my place. And
Why? Why did you know the moment you walked in? What was
you just
it?
get that feeling about things, about places and about people. Paul Smith.
You felt at home?
Yeah, I felt at home. I
Right.
met Paul Smith, the president, and the coach was Robbie Stanton at the time, and these players make you feel very welcome. These people make you feel very welcome. And I guess from that moment on, I just sort of felt it was home. The change room felt like home, and I just haven't really been tempted to leave, to be honest. It's been
Not going
fantastic.
anywhere.
Yeah.
What's changed and what's stayed the same?
Well, the players, I came in as a younger player. Now I guess I'm a senior player, so that changes. You play with some wonderful guys throughout the years. They come and go, and facility changes. The environment slightly changes, and there's these things you've got to adapt with and adapt to.
Yeah.
So
they sound like, but then other than that, it's everything you spoke to that hasn't really changed, and all that's quite dear to you, and they're more aesthetic little changes than anything else that you kind of adjust to and get on with it, but it stays, the crust of it and the essence of it stays the same.
Yeah, I guess the culture.
Yes.
The culture is what you really build into, and that's stayed the same, if not grown.
Great,
Yeah.
great. So how do you make it work, Nathan, in terms of playing semi-professional football and life's other commitments?
Yeah, so I'm a tradesman, I used to do my trade and work in that and play some professional football, but just recently I've taken on a goalkeeper academy, started to coach young goalkeepers from the Shire and beyond, and it's become sort of full-time with football, so being able to juggle the two has been fantastic.
It's been easy.
It's been easy, it's football all day, every day,
Yeah.
so I'm really blessed in being able to do that.
Oh, good on you,
Yeah.
living and breathing it.
Yeah, love it.
Now, Jeremy, you're a classic example of a Shire boy done good. Tell us about your experiences with Sutherland and prior.
Yeah, so got signed under 11, so first year that you could do it when I started. So from the 11s all the way to first grade now, played every age group. I think that I haven't been anywhere else. Don't know why I'd want to leave anyway. So I always lived in the Shire. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, good one. And it's your first year in first grade. How are you settling in?
Yeah, I was actually had a contract last year, but didn't play too much because I am still pretty young. But it has been an adjustment that I thought I was ready to make. Being helped by the older boys and settling in. Obviously, it's not great that we're not doing so well, but from a personal point of view, me playing all the time and scoring a few goals and stuff like that is great.
Oh, good on you. And on goals, Japanese striker Tomohiro Kajiyama has pretty much asserted himself as one of the most lethal attackers in the competition. What's it like playing alongside him? Yeah,
Kaji's a pretty special player. Played with him for like 2 years now. I still don't know if he's right or left footed. He's still so good with both. Yeah, he's the type of player who can change a game by himself. So to play with him, just the way he uses his body to get out of tight spaces, win fouls, and have strikes on goal is great to work with and learn from.
Oh, so on the learning point, what would be one key thing you've learned from playing with him?
From Kaji, how to use your body, even against bigger boys, to keep the ball and to win fouls and stuff like that.
Good one, good one. Now on to your game this weekend, as you mentioned, against Manly United, known as the Battle of the Beaches. How are you feeling about the game?
I think a little bit quietly confident, I guess. We're due a win. Second half of the season, we're going there to win, and they beat us first round. So we want to go, and like I said about the Heritage round last year, avenge that loss, and also from the round one this year. We're going there with no intention to lose. We want to win and take 3 points home.
Good one.
Bring them back.
How are you feeling, Jeremy?
Yeah, no reason.
I can't go off the back. No more to say on top of that one.
No reason why we can't get a result up there. I don't win there very often when I've gone there. It's a tough place to go. The artificial hot day probably. But we have to find a way to get a result and bring it home. Oh,
good one.
Yeah.
Good one. Well, look, before I let you go, it's shout out time. So anyone you want to say hello to, messages, barrel's yours. Go ahead.
I'll say hello to my under 16s boys at Sutherland, and also to Nathan Lassie, who reckons he couldn't come tonight because he was cooking dinner for his wife at home.
Speaking of wives, I want to say hi to mine, Amanda, hello. Also to all the kids, all the SAP boys and SDS boys at the Sharks, and all my young goalkeepers. Cheers.
Oh, good one, good one. Well, guys, thank you again so much for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure, and good luck on the weekend.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks. We hope you can join us in celebrating Heritage Round this weekend. #Heritage Round for anyone promoting this wonderful initiative that Football New South Wales commenced years ago, honouring and respecting the history of our great clubs. So on that note, let's take a look at the upcoming fixtures for round 12. On Saturday, with only 2 points between them, the Apia Leichhardt Tigers will take on Sydney United 58, 7:45 at Lambert Park. This game will be live streamed on the NPL New South Wales Facebook page. On Sunday, Sydney Olympic will host the Bonnyrigg White Eagles 3 p.m. at Belmore Sports Ground. The Battle of the Beaches will kick off at 3 p.m. between Manly United and the Sutherland Sharks at Cromer Park. 3 p.m, Blacktown City FC will play Hakoah Sydney City East at Lily's Sport Field. Also at 3 p.m, the Wollongong Wolves will host Parramatta FC at Wynn Stadium. And at 5 p.m. at Illingdon Sports Centre, we'll see the Rockdale City Suns take on Sydney FC. That's it from us tonight. Next week on the show, we'll have players from Sydney FC, so we can't wait for your company then. Thank you again to our guests tonight from the Sutherland Sharks, Nathan Denham and Jeremy Cox. We will leave you tonight with a short video of an amazing strike from the NPL New South Wales Men's 2 competition. Thank you, as always, for your company. I'm Serene Damaki, and I'll catch you next week.